Welcome to the All American News Podcast. This is episode 63. I'm Chris Driscoll. So we're going to start off like we usually do. I'm going to give my number player to wear the number 63. There's only one NBA player in history to wear this number 63. It's Cody Clark, played for the Celtics in 2016. And there were no Mets that I was familiar with. So that's my Celtics and Mets talk for the night. However, obviously you guys know why I'm here. For debatably the biggest blockbuster trade that we've seen in, I don't want to say in NBA history, because I'm sure that some hoop historian might come on and say that someone traded in like 1980s was a bigger trade. But at least in my lifetime, in my 25 years of life, or at the very least in my, 18 years of watching basketball probably at this point, we've never, ever seen any trade like this. I just rambled on for how big the trade was, but I haven't said who, haven't broken down the details. So the full details that we can include are the Lakers acquired Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. The Mavericks acquired Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 Lakers first. And the Jazz acquired Jalen Hood Schifino, a Clippers 2025 second, and a Mavericks 2025 second. Absolutely wild. There's just so much to say, but we fully don't know all the details as to what went down, but I can only imagine that something ugly went down within the Mavs organization, because the Mavericks just made the finals with Luka, and the giving up after a couple months. There's only one explanation. Is there any other thing that could have happened other than Luka demanding a trade? Because there's really nothing that I can think of that would justify trading Luka Doncic. I just made a TikTok video, literally. See, I can pull it up right now. It was literally, how many hours ago was that? Was that 2 hours ago? Yeah, just over 2 hours ago, under 3 hours ago, that I made a top 10 list of NBA players to build around. Luka Doncic was obviously on that list. I put him at number 6, which seems way too low, because heading into the season, I had Luka as the third best player in basketball, and he's young. So you'd think he'd at the very least be in the top, in the top 3, maybe even 1 or 2. But I said my concerns about him staying healthy and my concerns about his defensive inabilities. There's a lot to love about Luka Doncic. He is one of the best playmakers in the league. Probably top 2, honestly. Probably only Jokic would be ahead of him, maybe. I don't know. I guess maybe you could squeeze LeBron in there. Scorers, Jokic, Shea, Embiid, probably. Luka's definitely a top 5 scorer. You can even debate top 3. This is bonkers. Just everything about the Mavs is in question now. Like, Mark Cuban was very active on Twitter during the election season. I don't know how active he's been on there lately, but I can only imagine what's going through his head right now. And I haven't really taken a look at his Twitter, but I can only imagine his comment section is blowing up. Yeah, nothing there I can see about it, but very, very interesting to see. Let's see. So we got a couple comments. But we got one saying Mavs probably traded him because of injury issues this year and probably did something to the front office to make them do this move. Yeah, very valid. He was injured at the beginning of this year and has been injured the past few weeks. And overall, definitely an interesting move to say the least. So I'm not really sure. Again, like we can speculate as much as possible, but the trade literally happened half hour ago, so we don't know the full details yet. But I'm very interested to see what happens there. See, my guy Leandro Bongiovanni, what's up, Bonge? Said Mavs got nothing to rebuild. They don't have a ton. That's right. Yeah, they got which they got the Lakers 2020, was it 2029 or 2027? I think it was 2027. First round pick. It's 2020, yeah, 2029. So I don't really know how good the Bec's going to be because LeBron's going to retire probably after next year. That's been my speculation for a little bit now. I don't think he's going to retire this year. However, this trade might make him want to retire more. And I just don't know what the Lakers' plan is from here on out. You're going to think they're going to stink for a couple of years now. Actually, maybe not actually because, or the Mavs actually. You got to think with the Mavs, it could be interesting. I don't know. AD moves back to the 4 with Gafford and Lively the 5. But who's going to be their point guard? I guess Kyrie. Yeah, I guess Kyrie has to be their point guard alongside Marshall and Clay as like the wing pieces. It's an interesting team to say the least. They're a worse team without Luka Doncic, but they're going to see less heliocentric basketball now, which I know it's funny, including Kyrie Irving playmaking, but I do think that Kyrie's playmaking ability has definitely gotten much better in his time with the Mavs. He's also been a lot more mature with the Mavs. How much? Maybe Luka demanded the trade because of Kyrie. I don't know. But it's gonna be a fun duo. Matt Driscoll, frequent, pretty much the unofficial host on the pod. His roommate from college said, "Where does this rank in the biggest trade in sports history?" As far as Ryan, as far as it goes for like the moment of the trade, I said this in the beginning of the episode. This has to be number one. Like, I can't think of a bigger trade, at least in the moment, that was like, the only one I could think of that has like a puncher's chance against it is KD to the Suns, but there was no other superstar in that trade. Maybe AD to the Lakers. Again, no superstar in that trade other than AD. Have we seen? I guess the closest thing we can see, like two superstars getting traded, or like these aren't even two superstars; these two all-stars, would be the Kyrie Irving Isaiah Thomas trade. Just two superstar swaps. Is there anyone else that I can think about? Here we go. I was waiting for someone to give a comment. Neek for Danny Manning. What the? Okay. Oh, never mind. Okay, so Chris Haynes said Anthony Davis is waiving his trade kicker. So I have to. Okay, this is ignorant. I mean, does that mean he's waived? Does that mean he's saying he doesn't want to be traded? What does that mean? Okay. Someone's got to specify. Someone's got to clarify that because I always think about trade kicker. I don't think the trade clause. What exactly does that mean? We'll go back to that conversation in a second. But what does it mean to waive a trade kicker? Because I think that kind of. What does it mean to waive a trade kicker? To waive a trade kicker means a player in professional sports, typically in the NBA, voluntarily gives up a bonus payment they would normally receive if they were traded to a new team. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. So they waived a trade kicker in order to. So AD waived a trade kicker, so like to get more money. I thought that meant like he had like no trade clause, which I wasn't aware of. So like that's why I jumped for a second there. That's what it means. Another idea, Lakers probably should have made a move to get Mo Bamba. From what I haven't really watched a ton of Clippers this year, especially their bench. But I do know that Ivica Zubac has been playing a ton of minutes because of how putrid their bench defense is, and Bamba being part of that reason. But who's their starting center now? Is it Hayes, or is it? I'm sure there's someone I'm missing. But what's the Lakers' depth chart looking like? Let's take a look at that. Why don't we actually, like I can actually see if I'm gonna try to find this now. See if I can share my screen. No, that's what I'm gonna do actually. Let's take a look at this. Okay, there we go. So here's the Lakers trade. Here's the Lakers depth chart as of now. So we got Austin Reeves at the point guard, Max Christie at the shooting guard. Wasn't Max Christie in the deal? I thought Max Christie was in the deal. I have to double check that, but Max Christie was definitely in the deal. So no, yeah, he was. So yeah, so this is already wrong. Are they going to move DFS to the 2 or Connect? Put him in the starting lineup. I'd probably put Connect in the starting lineup, honestly, unless that defensive duo of Reeves and Christie would be pretty bad. You're really going to start Jackson Hayes at your center, though? That would be really tough. Some guy says AD's been complaining about playing center this year. They couldn't find 2 to 3 solid centers just with the 48 minutes between. Yeah, it's exactly right. They couldn't find any center, so and now they don't have anyone. So now it's going to be Jackson Hayes, who's that Troy Johnson the third, and DFS. Honestly, they're gonna are they gonna do what they had to do in 2022 or was it 22 or 23? It was 23 actually. I think where they had to play LeBron a bunch of the center. I think that's 22 actually because 23 was the year they made the conference finals. But yeah, 22 he had to play a bunch of the center. Are they really gonna do that again? Because this is a recipe for disaster, all due respect. But I don't know. Yeah, obviously they don't have Luka here yet, so yeah, Luka, Reeves, Christie. So Luka and Reeves are going to be the 1 and the 2. Hachimura, LeBron, and I guess Hayes, unless you want to include, maybe you want to put Vando at the 5. This is, I don't know how I feel about this, but let's try to see if we can get something for the Mavs as well. Because let's check their depth chart. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, it looks like same thing as the Lakers. They don't have the actual players involved in the trade. So yeah, Kyrie would be the 1, Dinwiddie and Clay. Maybe put AD at the 4 and Gafford at the 5. Unless you want to put Dinwiddie in the bench, which I would rather actually put Clay at the 2, PJ at the 3. He's definitely played small forward before, so definitely has. Let's check that out. He plays 4 for the most part, but it doesn't look like he has any history of playing the 3 actually. But however, he's 6'7". This year he's averaging 14 and 8, 38% from 3. I mean, there's nothing really. Ori B, what's up? One in the world. I agree. Shout out Ori B. Former guest of the pod. I've been on his show as well, Creators Hour. But this is wild. And there's really nothing. I don't know how to react to this. Honestly, it's the most insane trade I've ever seen. Keep on talking about the Mavs. And like why they would trade Luka, but like I understand when you have the chance to trade for a guy like Luka, but trading Anthony Davis too. Like Luka is the clearly better player to build around, especially because he's like at least 5 or 6 years younger than AD. But I guess it's also yeah. I thought for sure it was fake too, Ori. I literally texted. I could show you all my group chats right now. I was texting all my friends. They said, yeah, they were like, and I said like it's definitely fake, and it was. And the fact that Shams said, this is real, I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely fake, but I don't know. But this is the most wild thing I've ever seen. I'm flabbergasted by this entire trade. Lakers definitely win this, right? I would think so. Unless the Mavs like find a way. Like I was just saying this earlier. Like I'm trying to think of, like unless there's a way that the Mavs get better without Luka, like less heliocentric basketball. So it'll be like Kyrie playing point guard like he did in his first few years of his career with Clay at the 2, like he usually does, unless they start Dinwiddie. So yeah, like I think the ideal situation would probably be to start Kyrie at the 1, Clay at the 2, PJ at the 3. Like, he's only played the 4 and the 5, but he should be able to play the 3. AG at the 4, Gafford and Lively at the 5. I think that would make most sense, honestly. But I don't know. And then for the Lakers, it's gonna be Luka at the 1, Reeves at the 2. I'm trying to think. Yeah, they're gonna put LeBron at the 3 probably. They're gonna leave him. Yeah, I guess LeBron at the 3, Rui at the 4. And is there anybody else besides Jackson Hayes that can run the 5? Like, unless there's maybe there's another move they're going to make out there to trade for another center, but I don't know how much this puts them over the luxury tax. But this is another thing to check out, actually. Check out Keith Smith's Twitter. LeBron and Lucas seems like a strange fit, and go figure, one more star team to add to the list. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is LeBron's. Yeah, this is easily LeBron's. Is this his best teammate all time? Like as far as it goes for ranking in the league, because say AD in 2020 was a top 5 player. AD Wade for the first 2 years in Miami, probably a top 5 player. Yeah, Luka's. Yeah, and plus Luka at this point in his career is definitely better than any point Kyrie in his career. So, see, Keith Smith is great with the numbers and stuff. So I wonder if this specifies anything. I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering this actually, if there's just any situation now where the Lakers were. One of them was over the luxury tax. Was it the Lakers or the Clippers? But no, the Lakers or the Mavs. But the Clippers definitely are. But I don't know, because the Clippers lowered their luxury tax thing today. So don't know the second apron crap. It's kind of annoying, but second apron. Tim McMahon said the Mavs had concerns moving forward with Doncic due to conditional issues looming commitment of a Supermax extension. That's right. That's forgot about that. Yeah, Luka Tatum signed the extension last year, so yeah, Luka would have been up for extension. That's wild that that like you're concerned about an extension or either contenders. I'm gonna say no. One of them is about to lose their 20th game. It's either one of them. I think the Mavs already lost their 20th game, so that's one thing. And the Lakers, did the Lakers win tonight? They did, right? Yeah, the Lakers won, so they haven't lost their 20th game yet. But they're about to, especially with Luka not coming back anytime soon. But I don't know. But they're playing the Cavs tomorrow. I don't think AD. I doubt AD's back for that. This is just bonkers. I can't get over it. It's also bonkers that it's 1 a.m. and this is we got 65 people watching now. I guess most of them are on Twitter. Two of them from YouTube. 3 from the Facebook. I guess it makes sense. Everyone's going on Twitter now, but it's got to be the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like there has been no other situation like this ever. I know someone said Dominique for Danny Manning is close one. I said Isaiah Thomas for Kyrie Irving. It was the first and second seed in the Eastern Conference Finals, trading their second best player and their best player. I'm just going through superstars being traded now. There was the KD to the Suns. There was there's like other great player, Dame being traded to the Bucks. We haven't seen 2 top 10 players being traded ever. Is because Kyrie and IT weren't top 10 players. IT made second team All NBA that year, but he wasn't a top 10 player. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this before, and it's got to be the most wild thing I've ever seen. Trade deadline was coming up this Thursday, and I, for one, thought that the next episode was going to be on Thursday because that's when the next episode is, but I had to go live for this, and it's very late now. If you did realize I did miss a couple of spots shaving because I hopped out of the shower and then I was like, oh crap, I need to go live and did all that. But I don't know. But I think I've said everything that I need to say about both teams. Oh, I guess the last thing I will say is if we go through each of these teams, let's see. Mind-blowing decision, unexpected star swap, 2 top 10 guys trade midseason. Exactly, yeah, Ori. And I was saying, yeah, I just said earlier, yeah, like the closest thing I can think about is 2 star players being traded was Kyrie and IT being traded. And that's like debatable as whether you consider them stars or not. But 2 top 2 players on the first and second seed in the East that year. So just something wild to think about. if you really think about it, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they ended Luka with the Mavs. They ended Jimmy Butler with the Heat. They ended a good amount of other teams too. Who else did they end? They ended they ended James Harden with the Sixers. They ended. If we go through each team, I'm trying to think of other teams that were expected to go through ones, but they ended KD and Kyrie with the Nets. Yeah, feels pretty good to be part of a franchise, to be a part of a fan of a franchise that is just constantly splitting up teams. They've been calling Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to be split up for years. Now, they have other plans in mind. They'll stay in put. You guys can make the trades you want. We're gonna stay in put though, and that's exactly what happened with the Mavericks with Luka Doncic. And fortunately, the Celtics never played the Lakers in the finals, but the Lakers had those plans as well. Imagine we're going to make a few TikToks about this too. But I don't know. Still a good amount of you on. So yeah, I'm kind of hesitant to leave this. But yeah, those of you on Twitter, yeah, drop a comment down below what you think. But yeah, I'll stay on for another minute or two if you guys have anything else to say. But yeah, this is going to be one of those nights where people are going to say, where were you when Luka Doncic was traded to the Lakers? And I'm going to say I just got out of the shower. Went to grab something in the kitchen. My mom was there, and she showed me some selenium on her phone. And then I went upstairs to. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention. Yeah, I forgot to mention this. Yeah, I'm in my older brother John's room, who has moved out. But yeah, and then my parents' room is right across the hall from mine, so I didn't want to be too loud. My dad's in bed now, so yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it for tonight. Yeah, it's getting pretty late, and I think I've said everything I needed to say. But for now, this has been another episode of the All American Hoops podcast. Subscribe to @SportsFluent on YouTube to catch every episode on Thursdays at 8 p.m. and to follow SportsFluent on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Also, be sure to follow all of my pages at All American Hooper on Instagram and TikTok, and at American Hooper on Twitter. But until then, keep grinding and stay hooping. Have a great night, everyone.
Oh, Canada.
Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.